In the previous task, we create a form for user to make their reservation. Now, before creating some testing bookings, let's modify these two fields a bit. In our project folder, open F, Views, Reservations, and Form. Now, first, I'll just remove this one for now. We're going to put it back in a little bit. And then we're going to say the class would be form control. And I'm going to apply this. And put it into here. Save it. Now refresh our web browser. Okay, now you can see this in a different style. Now if I click on start date, let's create two dummies booking. So the first one we start from 6th of September to 8th of September. Book now. Okay, now we're going to create another one. Let's say from 14 to 16. Book now. Alright, that's good. Now as you can see, I've just created two reservations, but when I open the date picker, it doesn't show which dates are unavailable, and that would cause a lot of problem. What we want to do in this scenario is when we load our page and click on the start date or end date, the date picker here need to disable all unavailable dates so user can't select those dates. So how can we do that? Here is a process of how things work together. Step 1. When you load the page, it will send a request to our AJAX code. Step 2. In our AJAX code, we're going to call the preload action of the reservation controller along with the parameters. Step 3. In our preload action, we're going to do three things here. First, we need to get a room, and second, from that room we get all the reservation belong to that room, and we just need to care about all the reservation greater than today. So start date or end date need to be greater than today. And the last step, we're going to return all of those reservations to the date picker. That's a step 3. Now the step 4 is we're going to process the data and add them into the date picker, and then respond back to the browser. And here's how the code looks like. First, in our AJAX code, we're going to create the new URL, say preload, and we're going to pass along the room ID as a parameter, and the data type is JSON. Now once we load that, remember here we've got a preload, it's going to run the preload action of the reservation controller, and it's going to pass along the room ID as a parameters. And in here, first we get a room, and second we get all the reservation of that room with the start date and end date greater than today. And step 3, after we got all the reservation that we need, we send it back to the browser, and here's the data sent back. Now in our AJAX code, once you get the data from the reservation controller, we can do whatever we want inside the succeed function here. And in this case, we're going to push all of those unavailable dates into an array. But for now, we just try to write it in a console to make sure everything works. So now we have some ideas of what to do. In our project folder, open F controller and reservation controller. So here I'm going to create a new method named preload. and under here I'm going to say room equal room dot find, and we're going to pass a params which is room ID, and then we're going to create a new variable, say date today, so we just get a today date. Now another variable named reservation, and we're going to say room dot reservation. So first we're going to get all the reservation of that room, and from that we say where the start date greater than question mark or end date greater than question mark. And for the first question mark we say today, and for the second question mark we say today as well. So what it does is just get all the reservation has start date greater than today or end date greater than today, because we don't need to care about all of the past reservation. And once we got that, we just say render JSON reservation. Remember that whenever we create a new custom action in the controller, we need to tell Rails about that. So I'll just close this one a bit, open config routes.rb, and here we need to say get preload, and for that preload we say reservation controller hash preload action. So that's mean whenever you type URLs like localhost 3000/preload, is going to run the reservation controller and the preload action. Next, open app, views, reservation, and form. Let's create a AJAX function here. So scroll down here. And inside the function, we're going to call the AJAX. First, we're going to say URL. This one would be preload. And the second option is data. And we're going to pass the room ID as a parameter. And here, we're going to say room.id. Now for the data type, it should be JSON. And for the succeed function, sorry, here we're missing percentage. Alright, cool. So inside the succeed function, we just got a list of data, which is a list of reservation from reservation controller returned. And now we're going to say for each data, we're going to run. This function take two arguments. The first one would be array ID, and the second one would be array value. Now for each of that, we're going to loop through every single date of that reservation. So I'm going to say d equal new date, and let's say that's one from array value dot start date. Right, so we start from start date, and as long as d less than the new date here, less than end it. Then we're going to say d.setDate, d.getDate plus 1. Alright, so for every single date in here, we're going to write into the console. Now, don't worry if you don't understand what's happening here, but I'm going to show you in the browser, so it will make much more sense. Now go back to your web browser, and before you press refreshing, I want you to open the developer tools, alright, and go to the console. Now here we go to console. Now we click on the refresh and see what's happening. Okay, so in the console we just got every single date of that reservation. So remember that the first reservation from the 6th of September to 8th of September, and the second one will be from 14th to 16th of September. Great. Now, if you open the start date, we need to tell the date picker to disable those dates. So A1 to 6, 7, 8th of September will be disabled, and also the 14, 15, 16th of September will be disabled as well. Back to our project. Open the reservation form, and inside here, back to our project. Instead of showing those dates in the console, here we want to push them into an array. So I'm going to say, now first, actually, we need to create a new array. So I'm going to say unavailable dates. Create a new array. Alright. So here we just copy this and put it in here. And here we're going to say push $sign dot date picker dot format date. And here we're going to pass the month and YY, okay, and then we're going to pass the D, which is the date here. Alright, save it. Now you might ask why inside here the date format we say DD and MM, but here we got just D and M. Well, this one is just for displaying, and this one is actually for calculation. So for example, for display, you can have something like 0909, which is 9th of September, but for calculation you can't do that. Here you should say 9 and 9. That makes sense. Alright, save it. Now after this, we need to create a function for date picker to check if a certain date is unavailable by comparing that date with all the values of the unavailable dates array. So inside the script, we're going to create a new function, and that's function name unavailable. You can name it to whatever you want. Date. So here we're going to get dmy equal date dot get date. Alright, then we're going to say date dot get month. Well, this one actually we need to +1 because January is not 1, is 0. Start from 0. Okay, now this one is date dot get full year. Alright, and now we're going to return. So here we're going to check in array. we pass dmy, and also we pass the unavailable date array, and we're going to check to see if it's -1. Alright, so what's happening here? First, we're going to pass a date. Right, so then we're going to transform that date in this format. And after that, we're going to compare that date with every single value in the unavailable dates array. Now, if we can find, so this means this one would be return false. Otherwise, this one would be return true. All looks good so far. Now, the last step would be telling date picker to disable those unavailable dates. Now, we need to bring this to date picker. Right, put it right under the H group. Now for the date picker, we're going to say mean date 0, max date. Let's say 3 months, and for the before show day, we're going to run the function unavailable, and I'm going to do the same thing. Yeah, for the end date picker as well. Now open your web browser and hit refresh. Okay, now click on start date. Awesome. So we just got a 6, 7, 8, and 14, 15, and 16 disable as well. Cool. And also today is the 5th of September. So as you can see, all of those days or month before today would be disabled. This is because of the mean date we set to 0. And for the max date, we set to 3 months. That means you can click on the November, December. Alright, so September plus 3 months would be December. So that's why you can say those first 5 days in December, but you're no longer to click to move on the next year. Now, if you want, you can extend this one to next 6 months or even next 1 year. But for now, just give it as 3 months. Now, it would be great if you can click on start date, for example. Now, let's say you click on start date as 21st, all right? And then when you click end date, we want to all the dates before 21st would be disabled. And vice versa, when you click on the, let's say 25th, and then click on the start date, we want all of the date after 25th will be disabled. And also, we want to disable the end date picker once the user first visits the page. This is to make sure that they click on the start date first. And if they do, then we will enable the end date picker. Let's fix it. To our form, first, we're going to say this one, disable the true. Okay, so then the next thing we want to do, so inside the date picker, right, we're going to call on select function. Now we say function selected. Now inside here, we're going to get the reservation ended, and we're going to say date picker option, and for this one we're going to say mid date and select it. And also for attribute, we're going to say disabled false. Now we're going to do the same thing for the ended picker, but this one we don't have this option. And also this one we change to the start date. And this one, instead of say minute, we say max date. Now refresh the web browser. As you can see, when you hover the mouse and you can't click on the end date because it's disabled in the first place. Now instead, you need to click on the start date first. And let's say you select 21st. And now you are able to select the end date. And as you can see, all of the date before 21st will be disabled, which is great. And now let's say select 23rd and click on here. See that? All of those dates after 23rd will be disabled. Great. That's it for this session. In the next one, we'll be working on the AJAX function for the end date. And I'll see you then.